How may I be of service right now to heal the root cause of the lower back pain and whatever it represents in such a way as to align with the soul plans of all concerned and trigger the awakening whose time has come? How may I be of service right now to heal the root cause of the lack of funding for this project and whatever it represents in such a way as to align with the soul plans of everyone concerned and trigger the awakening whose time has come? This contract is on the table, and Sam has signed it with various parties, including the Lynn-Body-Mind and Glenn the Commander, and Fernando, and many others who are involved on the team. And he has not fulfilled it, and his actions are being looked at under the microscope right now by another expert witness who looks scientific.
That's true.
And they're looking at his actions, and they're looking at tiny footsteps, and they're talking about what we can learn by studying tiny footsteps, and they look like ant footsteps, tiny little footsteps, A-N-T, the insect footsteps, and saying we can tell that there's something going on here. These are all the steps that Sam has ever taken. Oh, it's fascinating. Well, we know that everything is recorded. I don't know why I would be surprised to see this. There are all his footsteps, and they're timed too, like how long he stood certain places. It's how long he stood at the keyhole, how long he stood at the door outside where a phone call was being made, how long he stood here, how long he stood there.
It's true.
Well, it does build to a pattern of something going on that doesn't pass the smell test.
That's true.
We paused and asked Glenn, are you ready to sign off now as complete? Is this enough for you? Can you let it go now? Are you now willing to let it go? And he said, no. There's not a, he wants a verdict.
That's true.
Everybody agrees he has the right. All right, so we'll create an eternal bubble. Put into it all the facts, and put into it perfect, wise, divine minds who desperately wish the awakening to occur, who desperately wish to support all beings involved in these contracts to live their own soul plans and fulfill their destinies. All the facts and the beings with the proper intention in all the time needed should be enough to arrive at a perfect verdict. Do we have agreement on that?
Yes, that seems to be agreement.
Yes. Is anything else, he's asking again, is anything else needed? Witnesses, facts, wise divine minds with good intention to support the awakening and to support the soul plans, not to look for wiggle room and ways out of the soul plans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And enough time. Well then, now we begin to close the bubble. There's someone walking down a hall. It's like a time tunnel or a future tunnel. Can't quite tell. It's in the future. Someone talking about something that happened long ago, but the long ago is now. All I can tell is they're talking about the verdict. Well, back again we come to Glenn. There was a verdict. I can't tell what the verdict was. Glenn, can you tell that there is a verdict?
Yeah, he seems to be nodding.
Yes. Now, given the ingredients that went into it, regardless of the outcome, would you be able to accept what it was as a valid verdict?
Yeah, he seems to be nodding.
If that's the case, are you willing to now sign off and release Sam from this obligation after the verdict was given, not before? He doesn't want to. He wants to know what the verdict was. He says, nope, tell me what the verdict is. Because if he's been acquitted, I'm taking it up on appeal. All right, that's valid. Somebody said, what do you notice? I notice that something feels wrong. My perception is the whole system is rotten.
That's true.
That the verdict was rotten, that
That's
everything
true.
is rigged, and that there's no point in sitting in courtrooms and talking. This is a waste of time. We've already proven that the whole system is rotten. Why in the world are we doing this? What we need to do is burn, bifurcate, depending on how you look at it, either ratchet or press from the outside, and get to where there is actually truth and justice and things like that, because they don't exist here. We're swimming in a sewer. So, Glenn, you can hold on to this all you want, but you know what it's doing is holding us back. It's actually holding us back. It's actually holding us back. Of course there's no justice here. Quelle surprise! We're swimming in the sewage. We're swimming in the lies. There is no justice here. This is the point, that there's no justice here. That is the point, that there's no justice here. This is why the assignment is to burn, to ratchet or press from the outside, and to bifurcate, give everybody their opportunity. Those who wish to awaken come to the center. Everybody else flies away, right? This is the point. There isn't any justice here. There isn't any justice to be had here. Your holding on to justice is denying the inconvenient truth that there isn't any justice to be had here. Can you see that?
Yeah, he's nodding.
Are you willing to let it go?
Yeah.
Here's the paperwork. So that was the inconvenient truth that you weren't willing to acknowledge before, Glenn. That was what was keeping your pillar short, Glenn. There isn't justice to be had here. That's the point. That is the point. There isn't any justice to be had here. That's why we let it go. And this was what was hanging up Ra the other day. And so, we're not pointing fingers because you and Ra are, the team leaders. And so we're not criticizing you. We have the utmost respect for you. But we have to let it go. Right now. We can circle around when we get to a clean court, right? But it's a paradox. By holding on to it with the intent to circle around, you're holding yourself back. It's actually better to let it go and let wiser, clearer minds decide when we actually get to the outside what needs to be done. Are you willing?
He seems to be willing.
What's happening with the back sensations?
I don't feel the pain.
I feel like we're leaving some kind of, it's like more like a counseling facility, more like a mental health facility than a courtroom. And Glenn feels better. He feels much lighter. He's relieved. He didn't get justice, but he got clarity as to why he doesn't have justice. He remembers. He goes, oh, that's right. Duh. Of course. Oh, let it go. Poof. And then he lets it go quickly. It's like throwing feathers over his shoulder or bubbles or something. It's something light. Poof. All right. Now, what now? How may we be of service right now? Well, there's something in front of us. It's something that gives me the sensation of life path. What are the names of them? They're the net things that are under the trapezes, under the high trapeze, those net things.
Big safety nets?
The big safety nets, only it's just a long safety net. Those are hard to walk on.
That's true. Now
we can't, and we can hurt ourselves, like a leg can go through. They're
true.
called a safety net, and they do help us, definitely. I wouldn't want to be on the trapeze without one of those.
That's true.
But when we aren't on the trapeze, it actually would be better to be walking on the ground.
That's true.
We want them underneath us. We don't want to be walking on them. They aren't intended to be walked on.
That's true.
The safety net, we're walking on the safety net. Ah, right, the safety net isn't any good to walk on. Glenn says that's the point. Interesting. He's talking about finances, and he's talking about living off of savings, and that savings are the safety net, and that we shouldn't be living on our savings, we shouldn't be living on our safety net. And he's pulling a bell. It's a rope bell, like an old-fashioned, in a mansion, a manse, pull the bell and the servant comes,
That's true.
He's pulling a bell. He's ordering up something and nothing's coming, and we
That's
go
true.
look at in the kitchen, like the camera shifts and we see the kitchen and it's like filthy and black
Empty,
and
yeah.
abandoned, and rats are there. Like, you can pull up that rope bell all you want, there's no one there to answer it.
That's
so it's just
true.
kind of crazy to pull the rope bell. So what's the answer? Same answer as before. We've got to get out of here. we have to get out of here as fast as possible. There is no justice to be had here, and there is no support here. The system has gone bad, so the solution is to get out of here fast, not slow.
That's true.
And they're showing how this morning we were feeling for the subatomic levels beneath this level, in which we are operating as Lynn-Body-Mind and Jamie-Body-Mind on planet Earth and its environs. And how we could no longer feel those levels that, for example, Joseph lived on, and the others also. We couldn't feel them anymore. And we couldn't tell whether they had just dissolved into the layers beneath them or around them or what. We just can't feel them anymore. It has the sense that they have become like sunk deeper rather than come up.
That's true.
This seems to be what happens. They sink down and it gets thicker and blacker and harder to work with. So there should be, game theory says, a lot of support for the lowest livable layer. And it has that sense that there isn't anything but blackness underneath this subatomic layer in which we're living right now.
That's true.
And the point is this: to obsess about what's going wrong right now is to miss the point. Nothing is going to go right now because we're in the sewage. Focus on the burning, focus on the compressing. Nothing else makes sense. And the bifurcating, because everyone must be given their chance, but to get through this really, really, really fast. Holding on to anything else is making it harder to work, not easier to work. And of course all of these things are valid points. No one is arguing with the points. These are valid points. All these things should be occurring. They aren't. They're saying feel for it, feel for it. So here's what seems to be holding us up. What I've already done should be enough. So now we can see with our minds this makes no sense, because we've all signed individually to trigger the awakening no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, right?
That's true.
And clearly there hasn't been an awakening yet, right?
Right.
So does it even make any sense to say that what I've already done should be enough?
No.
It's crazy. Can we let it go? There, he lets that go really fast. Okay, boom, now suddenly we're back in the, like, some kind of vehicle that is the Jamie-Body-Mind, whether it's a spaceship or what, something else, I can't quite tell. Some kind of vehicle, and Fernando is strapped in, and he's looking eager and ready to go, and he looks over at Glenn, and he says, "You ready?" And Glenn's going, "I guess so." There's supposed to be someone in the back seat, maybe two someones in the back seat.
Lloyd.
Lloyd. I see Lloyd. He's sitting right behind Glenn. And maybe Paul.
Maybe Paul.
Maybe Paul. Now we have a contract, and it looks like there are 4 seat belts and 5 lines of signatures, and the 5th signature is for the sentient vessel itself. Just like Susie the car is sentient, Jamie the body-mind is sentient. Right?
Right.
A vessel is a vessel. Sentient presence is sentient presence, right? Okay. Now, signing ceremony. We're just going to do this. We're just going to do this. We're going to stay focused and blast through it. And get it done fast, not slow. There are actually things that we're going to do that create a sense of urgency. So will it be done by Tuesday? Maybe not. I don't know. We don't know. Let's go for it. Why not, right? If we really go for it, couldn't we at least get to clear space by Tuesday so that there's support again?
Yeah.
Why not? Let's just focus on it. Looking at the life path, and these souls are all pointed different ways. There's a lack of consensus. I just see lots of different feet and toes, and the toes are pointed different ways. This creates push-pull. Friends, channels up. Now the toes start to merge together. It's like as they all merge together, they start to face forward. As we merge all these different feet together, they point more and more straight ahead on the life path. And we merge all these different hips and they point more and more straight ahead on the life path. We merge all these different shoulders and they point more and more straight ahead on the life path. We merge all these different ears and or heads, and more the ears show the heads are pointed straight on the life path. Now we just start to draw the energy body into alignment vertically so that it's not rocked back, so that it's got light at its back, support at its back. And I say, what about getting going? And they say we have to choose. We have to actually choose to get going. It's like grace accrues as a natural result. It's like by inhaling, the exhale is the natural result. Try to inhale without exhaling. It doesn't work. By taking action that helps the greater good, grace is the natural result. It is the natural result. Now, the grace maybe isn't being worked with effectively, or maybe we resist something and then use our grace that way, but we are generating grace. When we take an action to help the greater good, we are generating grace. And to play the grace, to strengthen the pillar and lengthen the pillar and to align the energy body and to get it done, to get this work done. The short-term assignment is to get it done. And that means to get out of the craziness, to get far enough ahead of the craziness that we can actually get to where there is a place where there's justice and there is a place where the grace support is there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm asking if there's anybody else who needs to sign, and there's someone waving the hand. Yes, I need to sign. He's really upset at being left out of the discussion. Really upset.
That's true.
It might be Luce. Well, he's basically saying, look, I can really be a help. And we all agree with that. You can really be a help. You also have been in the past dangerous, and everybody just went through a very challenging transition where they were sabotaged, and we take as our working theory that you two were sabotaged, and so to put someone like you into the Lynn-Body-Mind right now just seems crazy. What we need to do is get it proven in a safer place. Do you want to try the Lynn-Body-Mind? Prove yourself there? Yeah, my story is he's willing to try over here.
That's true.
Okay. Come on over here. Come on. Plenty of room. There, I see him settling into a seatbelt. Okay. Good enough for now?
Everyone feels okay.
Sign.
I don't hear anyone talking.
I don't either. Sign. All right. Okay, now tuning to perfect balance. Oh, here comes a major download. Perfect balance. Balance between the higher souls and the immediate presences. Boom. Feels like a big jolt of Paul energy just came down. Jolts of Fernando and Glenn. Also, jolts of Lloyd also, but Paul, boom. I could be wrong.
That seems true.
Getting the aim as close to the center of the bullseye as I can get right now. Bing. I'm so sorry. Stretching the string down, letting the rockets get going, and boom. It's that judge caught it. A judge, some judge. I can't quite tell what that means. Some judge caught it.
That's true.
Okay.